Hey everybody, last time we talked about presenting the menu. Number one, present the numbers with confidence. Remember that? Number two, handle objections. And we talked about number two being layer. Number three, refocus on payment. Number four, get modest adjustments. Number five, get the commitment. Number six, plant the seed it out. Let's go back to number two. Number two, handle objections. How are we going to do it? With layer. Listen, acknowledge, align, ask, explore, then respond. Let's talk about it. L, listen. You and I get that listening is everything. We instead of jumping to going to the close, listen to what they're saying. Stephen Covey says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So we've got to listen with every being within us, every part within us. We have to listen to make sure that we're really paying attention to what they're saying with our eyes and our ears and our gut. That's really what listening is. Listening is a verb. The first A stands for what? Acknowledge. And you and I do that all the time. We acknowledge by either a nod of the head or I get you or uh-huh. But acknowledging has to be sincere, because if you've ever heard anybody who's not sincere acknowledging, that could turn them off right away. So that acknowledge means I get you, I'm with you, I understand. Whatever it is, make it real. The next A, number 2A, is align. What's align mean? It's empathy. Hey, I hear you. Same things happen to me. Or, you know what? I had a trade-in about 5 months ago on a boat, and I didn't think I got enough for it either. Now, they explained to me why, and then I understood. Now, what are we doing? We're using a story to tell them they're going to understand in a few minutes. Instead of saying, Mr. Customer, I'll show you later how it makes sense, we're telling them in a story. I'm with you, man. I had that happen to me too. I traded in a ring one time, and when I traded it, my jeweler didn't give me very much money. Then he broke it down and explained why, and I felt better about it when I was done. You see how putting a story in there just makes them relate, but it doesn't tell them how they're going to think. It's very subliminal. Did I say that right? Now, L, listen. A, acknowledge. A, align. Next one, ask. Hey, when you say that's not enough for your trade, tell me about that. Why do you say that? And then the E is explain that to me. Tell me a little bit more. Then what do we do? After we get them to tell us, puke it out, get really clear, then we say, what I heard you say is you've been shopping. What I heard you say is then you really love this car. What I heard you say is your grandmama gave it and it has sentimental value. I get that. That's good stuff. So you repeat it. When you repeat it, how does it make them feel? That you're connected with them. Then after you repeat it, what do? Isolate. Other than if trade was the thing, is there anything else stop you from going ahead? If they say, yes, the payment's too high, then we would say what? Other than the trade and other than the payment, is there anything else? No, that's it. Okay. Then what do? Well, now we're going to go to the R, and we're going to say this. So which one do you want to talk about first? If he says, I want to talk about the trade, boom, now we go into the response. And what is the response? Hey, remember when we walked around your car? You've got a nice car. I told you we could use that here. And we smog and safety all of our cars. We also said that, remember we walked around, you had a dent, and I asked you how much you can get it done for, and you said $1,000. Well, we can get it done a little bit cheaper here. Also, remember your tires? We kind of have to fix those. We have to put it on the lot with good tires on it. You said you went to Costco and they're $400. We can get them for less than you can, so good for you. And he loves the fact that silver, that's a great color, so he's giving me a little bit more. And we're going to pay it off. Now that we've explained that, can we move on? If he says yes, go to number 3, refocus on payment. If he says no, then what do? Hey, let me ask you a question. Is this really about payment? You try to get him to go to payment, which we'll talk about in the next video. So let me review again. L, listen. Now let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. Is that a deposit or a withdrawal emotionally? Well, listening's an emotional deposit, so I'm up 1-0. Acknowledging, hey, I understand. I got you, Bob. That makes sense to me, Bob. So what are we doing? We're connecting with them, aren't we? So number 2 becomes a deposit as well. We're up 2-0. And then the alignment. And when I say, hey man, that happened to me too, let me tell you my story. Now we're connecting again. So all of a sudden we've got 3 emotional deposits. Now when we say, hey, Bob, why is it you say that's not enough for your trade? That's a withdrawal, isn't it? And then when we say, explain that to me a little bit, Bob, that E for explore is, you know what that is? That's kind of a withdrawal too. But then when we repeat what he said and we said, Bob, here's what I heard you say, that becomes a deposit, doesn't it? Now we go ahead and isolate. Other than the trade, is there anything else? He says, payment. I got you, Bob. Another little bit of a deposit. Other than trade and payment, is there anything else? He says, nope, that's it. And then when I say which one you want to talk about first, that's another deposit. So you need those emotional deposits before you go for the close. Make sense? Because if you don't do that, it's kind of like bone on bone. Customer says, that's not enough for my trade. What do you want for it? Or, hey, bad answer, by the way. Or, that's not enough for my trade. Well, let me show you how we get it. Now you're telling them, but you're not connecting. Those deposits are a big deal. Talk to you next time, Future Nissan of Roseville. Peace out.